Have you ever felt like you're standing in the middle of a field, trying to build a barn in a storm? The wind is howling. That's the endless notifications, the demands, the noise. The rain is pouring. That's the overwhelm, the mental clutter, the shoulds and coulds that flood your mind. And you're there, hammer in hand, trying to piece together a plan for your life, while everything around you conspires to blow it all apart. We live in an age of infinite possibility, and yet so many of us feel directionless. We have more planning tools than ever, apps, calendars, complex systems, but often less clarity, less peace, less of that deep, unwavering certainty that we are building something that truly matters, something that will last. For generations, our ancestors didn't have this problem. Not because their lives were simpler, they were often brutally hard, but because their planning was rooted. It wasn't abstract. It was in the soil, in the seasons, in the tangible rhythm of dawn and dusk. Their calendar was the sky. Their to-do list was the land. Their productivity system was a matter of survival, yes, but also of profound harmony. What if the secret to focused planning, to truly directing your life, wasn't another app, but an ancient method written in the language of rural wisdom? Imagine opening your eyes in the morning, and instead of a frantic mental scroll of tasks, you feel a deep, quiet knowing of your true north. Your priorities aren't a screaming crowd. They are a clear, ordered line, like seeds waiting for their perfect row. Your day unfolds not as a battle against chaos, but as a deliberate, graceful ritual. You move with the focus of a farmer at harvest, every action intentional, every effort meaningful, and at the end of the day, you can see what you've built. You can feel the progress, tangible and real. This isn't a fantasy. It's a set of principles, a method of planning forged not in Silicon Valley, but in silent valleys and on sun-drenched hillsides. Today, we're going to uncover that secret method. We'll explore 5 ancestral habits of rural planning that will transform how you direct your energy, your time, and ultimately, your life. Stay until the very end, because I'm not just going to explain them. I'm going to give you a simple, actionable ritual to weave them all together into your own Farmer's Almanac for life. A challenge that will change your next 7 days and beyond. Before a single seed touches the earth, a wise farmer does something that seems like nothing. They walk the land. They sit on a fence post or a stone wall for hours, days even. In Gaelic tradition, this was known as Aleiheas Nasul, the curing of the eyes. It wasn't about looking at the land, but letting the land speak to you. It was about observing the slope of the fields, where the water pools after rain, where the morning sun lingers longest, where the old oak casts its afternoon shadow. It was about diagnosing the reality of the terrain, not imposing a dream upon it. This is the antithesis of modern planning. We are so eager to do, to fill our calendars, to set audacious goals that we skip the most critical step. Deep, patient observation of our own landscape, our energy, our commitments, our true capacities, and the natural lay of our lives. We jump straight into the frenzy of execution. We buy a pristine planner on January 1st and start furiously filling boxes, ignoring the reality of our personal soil. We set goals based on what others are growing, not on what our unique landscape can healthily sustain. We try to plant citrus in a climate built for apples, and then wonder why we're exhausted, why nothing seems to thrive. Our planning becomes an act of force, not of harmony. This practice cures the blindness of ambition. It grounds your plans in reality, preventing burnout before it starts. Mentally, it swaps anxiety for clarity. You move from, I should do everything, to, I can see what is actually possible here. It creates a spaciousness in the mind, allowing intuition and genuine desire to surface rather than just reactive urgency. For your physical space and schedule, it acts as a gentle, guiding hand, ensuring your efforts are placed where they will have the greatest effect, with the least resistance. Before you open your planner, before you write a single task, do this. Find 20 minutes of absolute quiet. Make a cup of tea, sit by a window, or better yet, outside. Let your gaze soften. Ask yourself these questions, not to answer immediately, but to let them settle in your awareness. What is the current weather pattern in my life? Stressful, calm, transitional? Where are my personal fertile patches? The areas where I have the most energy and enthusiasm? Where is the poor soil, the commitments or habits that drain me? Where does the sun, my joy, naturally want to fall? Just observe. Don't judge, don't plan. Just cure your eyes. Our ancestors didn't plant whenever they felt like it. They followed a cosmic clock. Certain crops were sown with the waxing moon, others nearer the full moon. Root vegetables were often planted as the moon waned. There was a time for sowing, a time for nurturing, a time for harvesting, and a crucially important time for letting the field lie fallow. Planning was not a linear sprint. It was a sacred, circular dance with natural rhythms. This teaches us that focused energy is cyclical, not constant. You are not a machine. Your creativity, your focus, your social energy, your need for rest, they all have their own waxing and waning phases. Fighting this rhythm is like trying to harvest in winter. It's exhausting and fruitless. Modern productivity preaches consistency above all. Grind every day. Hustle 24/7. We see our weeks as blank slates to be filled with uniform effort. We feel guilty for low energy days, seeing them as failures rather than a natural and necessary part of our inner waning moon. We try to harvest, produce, achieve, output in every single season of our lives, depleting our inner soil. Planning rhythmically eliminates the guilt of rest and honors your humanity. It creates sustainable momentum. Mentally, it reframes your off days as deliberate fallow periods, essential for regeneration. It prevents the boom and bust cycle of burnout. For your body, it encourages you to align deep work with your natural energy peaks, your personal waxing moon, and restorative activities with your lower phases. It brings a peaceful, predictable cadence to your life and space. This week, track not your tasks, but your energy. For 3 days, simply note in a journal. At 9 a.m., how is my focus? 1:10. At 2 p.m., how is my creative energy? At 8 p.m., how is my social battery? Don't change anything yet. Just observe your personal lunar cycle. Then, for the following week, try to schedule your most demanding planting and harvesting work, deep thinking, important meetings, creative work, during your high energy phases. Schedule administrative tasks, maintenance, and rest during your lower energy phases. Stop fighting your inner tide. Ride it. There is a profound skill in ploughing a straight furrow. It requires the farmer to fix their eyes on a distant marker, a lone tree, a stone on the far side of the field, and walk towards it without looking down at their feet or back at the work. It's an act of profound trust and singular focus. The result is not just a row for seeds, it is the foundational geometry of the entire harvest. A crooked furrow throws off every row that comes after it. A straight one creates order, efficiency, and beauty. This is the ancient art of single tasking. The furrow is your current priority. The distant marker is the clear, meaningful outcome of that task. And the act of not looking down is the discipline of resisting the pull of multitasking, of distraction, of wondering if you're doing it right. We celebrate the juggler. We wear multitasking as a badge of honor, switching frantically between browser tabs, phone notifications, and half-formed thoughts. We plow 100 shallow, crooked furrows at once, and then wonder why our field looks chaotic and why our harvest is so meager. Our attention is fractured, and so are our results. Creating one straight furrow of focus builds deep competence and calm. Mentally, it trains your attention muscle to a razor's edge. It creates a state of flow where time dissolves and satisfaction grows. It reduces the cognitive load and stress of constant switching. For your physical space, it translates to handling one domestic task completely before moving to the next, creating visible, satisfying order. The completion of a single, well-executed task becomes its own reward. For your next important task, don't just write "work on project." First, define your distant marker. Ask, what is the one clear finish line I am trying to reach? E.g., a first draft of the proposal, a cleared and cleaned kitchen counter, a resolved conversation with X. Write that marker down. Set a timer for 45 to 90 minutes. Silence all notifications. Now begin your furrow. Keep your inner gaze on that marker. When your mind wants to dart away, to check email, to do something easier, gently bring it back to the line you are plowing. Do not look back until the timer rings. Feel the power of a straight line. On a traditional croft, there was rarely a single weeding day of epic, back-breaking proportions. Weeding was woven into the fabric of the week. It was done in the cool of the morning or in the quiet evening. It was a constant, gentle maintenance. A farmer knew that ignoring a weed for a week allowed it to set seed and create 100 more problems. But 5 minutes of daily attention kept the garden clean and the plants thriving. Our mental, digital, and physical clutter are the weeds of modern life. The unchecked notification, the unread email, the small procrastinated task, the item left out of place, each is a small weed. We ignore them, thinking we'll deal with them later, until later becomes a state of crisis, overwhelm, and a full-day decluttering marathon that we dread. We operate in a cycle of accumulation and purging. We let emails pile up until inbox zero feels like a mythical concept. We let clutter accumulate until we can't think straight, then launch a massive, exhausting cleanup. This is stressful and unsustainable. It makes maintenance feel like a punishment, rather than a peaceful ritual. Daily weeding creates perpetual clarity. It makes life lighter. Mentally, it prevents small anxieties from taking root and growing into overwhelming problems. It provides small, daily wins. For your physical and digital space, it means things are always essentially in order, ready to support you. Your environment becomes a clean slate, a tended garden, rather than a constant source of visual noise and stress. Tonight, after your main work is done, set a timer for 10 minutes. This is your weeding time. Do not start a big project. Simply walk through your physical and digital space with the eyes of a gardener. What is one small weed I can pull? Put away the dishes drying by the sink. File that one piece of paper. Delete 10 old emails. Clear your desktop wallpaper. Hang up the coat on the chair. Do this calmly, methodically. When the timer rings, stop. Feel the immediate spaciousness. This is not a chore. It is a gift to your future self. The harvest was never just about storage and survival. It was a sacred climax, a community feast. The first fruits were often shared. Tables groaned under the weight of what the land had provided. There was music, storytelling, and profound gratitude. This ritual accomplished two things. It marked a definitive end to a cycle of labor, and it infused the community with a deep sense of abundance and joy for the fruits of their focused work. We have forgotten how to feast. We achieve a goal, finish a project, hit a target, complete a big task, and what do? We immediately, breathlessly, jump to the next thing on the list. There is no closing ceremony, no moment to taste the fruit of our labor. This robs us of satisfaction and teaches our nervous system that striving is endless and completion is meaningless. Our done list is invisible. We tick a box and move on, our dopamine hit fleeting. We live in a state of perpetual striving. where the horizon of achievement always recedes. This leads to burnout, emptiness, and a feeling that nothing is ever truly enough, because we never stop to feel that it is. Ritualizing completion rewires your brain for satisfaction and sustainable motivation. It creates a healthy punctuation in the narrative of your work. Mentally, it builds a reservoir of positive accomplishment you can draw from. It cultivates deep gratitude, which is the antidote to ambition's anxiety. For your body and space, it's a moment of true rest and celebration, often shared with others, weaving your achievements into the fabric of your relationships and home. At the end of your week, before you shut down, perform this small feast. Review your week. Find one furrow you plowed straight. Find one weed you consistently kept at bay. Identify your biggest harvest, the tangible or intangible fruit of your work. Pour yourself a favorite drink, a cup of tea, a glass of water with lemon, something special. Sit quietly, look at your harvest. Say out loud, "This week I grew, name the harvest. For this, I am grateful." Then take a slow sip. Taste it. Let the feeling of completion settle in. Close your notebook. The week is done. These 5 habits are not a productivity hack. They are a philosophy of living and planning, written in the language of the land. They remind us that to direct your life, you must first observe its landscape. You must respect its natural rhythms. You must learn the focused power of a single, straight line. You must tend to the small intrusions daily, and you must, above all, learn to feast on what you grow. This is the secret method, planning not as an act of control, but as an act of cultivation. You are not a factory manager pushing for quarterly output. You are a steward, a gardener, tending the unique and precious landscape of your one wild and precious life. I challenge you to this. For the next 7 days, do not change your entire system. Choose just one of these habits. Perhaps it's the seasonal sit every morning. Perhaps it's the 10-minute evening weed. Embed it as a non-negotiable ritual. Let it be the first straight furrow you plow in the field of your new practice. I want to know which habit you choose. Write it in the comments below. I am starting with the furrow. Or, my harvest feast will be, let's create a community of cultivators down there. Share your journey, your small victories. How does shifting from productivity to cultivation change the feel of your days? If this wisdom resonated with you, if you felt a sense of calm and clarity just listening to it, then please give this video a like. It helps this message reach more people who are yearning for a more focused, grounded way to direct their lives. Subscribe and tap the bell, because in this channel, we are building a life not of more, but of meaning. We explore the ancestral wisdom that helps us live deeply, focus clearly, and tend to what truly matters. Thank you for your time, for your attention, and for the sacred work of cultivating your life. Go gently and plant well.